So I have 4 steers this year. I have an American, a shorthorn, a red Simmental, and then a cross calf. And my cross calf is Trump. We have Ice, Goose, and then Maverick. So we went with like the Top Gun theme until Trump came in the barn. Trump's our big steer. He's the one we're planning to take to Fort Worth and make Fort Worth great again. He's just something that we brought in the barn as like a calf that was like, okay, you know, it's my senior year. It's time to get ready. It's time to bring the big guns out. So I'm super excited about what's going to go down with him. I think it'll be something to look forward to on national television. With our other calves, I don't expect anything less from them. We put so much hard work into the barn. I think that obviously they're going to get the same results just because of the temperament they have and how much work that's been put into them. With it being hair season right now, we're in the barn almost 8-9 hours a day, washing, blowing, walking, working, feeding, just over and over again to make sure that we get that perfect hair growth. So.
Are there days where you get tired of it?
There's days that it's hard to get in the barn. It's like, oh, I do this every day, but at the end of the day, it pays off so well, and the memories you make from it, the friends you make from it, just the life lessons you learn from it to keep the stamina and keep moving. It really brings you those real life situations that you need to learn to work through.
And what have you learned just showing over the years?
Don't take anything for granted. That's one thing that I would tell anyone that's fixing to start showing is do not take anything for granted. You're going to learn so many things that are going to set you up for the real world, and you're going to learn so many things that are going to be like, wow, I've worked so hard and I still didn't get the outcome I wanted. But from those things, you learn so much, and I think that it's genuinely who's built me, or what's built me as the person that I am today, is those hardships that I've learned and the great memories I've had as well.
I know you're very passionate about FFA as a whole, and everything going from your green hand year to now. What's different about showing?
What's different about showing is it's actually a hands-on activity. Being in FFA and being in speaking contest, obviously I can go out and speak to people, and speaking to people is something I love to do. I love to advocate for agriculture. But being in the show ring, it's just a different presence. You walk in and it's like, wow, it's like you just ran a marathon. I walk out dripping in sweat, honestly, because that's how hard I show in the show ring. But you walk in and it's like, come on, you've got one chance. You get one look, and then you get a look on the wall, and if you don't get it, you don't get it. It's so many hours consistently spent in the barn, and then you get to your show and you get one look and one man's opinion.
So all of that preparation really just leading up to a moment, maybe, what is it, about 15 minutes?
You're not even in the ring for 15 minutes. So you walk in and it's like you get a 5-second look, and you either get the pull signal or you get the signal to walk. And it's, I mean, almost, shoot, we get calves in April. So April to January, and it's like all that work, wow, for 5 seconds.
Do you get nervous having done it so many times?
I think I do get nervous every time. I mean, sometimes like going in the show ring, I black out on what happens because all that adrenaline builds up, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's showtime, it's time to go. It's like walking on stage at a Beyonce concert, like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do, sing for Beyonce? No. But it's so nerve-wracking. Sitting in the holding area, just waiting to go in, it's like, oh my goodness. It's such a good nerve though. It's like that adrenaline that keeps you coming back and coming back.
Just going through the day-to-day, what do you think separates the animals that, get that pull, they get that move on, from the ones that, just keep going?
I think the difference in animals that are worked with and the ones that are kind of just set in the barn and fed, the ones that are worked with, you can tell. You see their demeanor, you see their shape, you see their character, you see the build of them, and you see how well they function in the show ring. Those are things that your judge is going to look for. He's going to look for your meat quality, obviously, because you're going to look for your hang weight. You're going to look for the quality of your animal, his structural correctness, and things of that sort. And if you're going to Fort Worth, which is the big major show we're all prepping for right now, you're looking for hair quality. So right now, we're growing hair and looking for hair quality, but you're also building your structural correctness underneath that. The calves you kind of just throw in the barn and you don't build the structural correctness on, or the hair, obviously aren't going to have the same outcome.
Is a local stock show any easier?
I think it's just like one of those stock shows that prepares you for your majors. So going to jackpots during the summer and then going to like local and county shows. Those are all shows to get your calves out and get them ready for the majors. So it's basically like you going and playing a scrimmage in basketball. It's showing you that you know what to do, but you still have people there to help you and guide you. But once you get into like the state finals game, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm here. My coach can't hold my hand. So you kind of have to go in there and learn it on your own, but still be able to be coached at like the county and the local shows and jackpots and stuff of that sort. But you also have to give yourself a little bit of rein learning.
So your good steers go to market, correct?
Yes, sir. So all of our steers will end up going to market. They are market steers. Whether they are branded at a major show depends on if we take them to market or if the major show does. So looking at it in a major show perspective, if the major show brands your cattle, which means you place, you get a check, you go to the sale, they keep your calf. If not, he comes home with you and you're able to take him to the next show until I feel like sending him as a market.
Do you miss them?
I miss the memories made with them, but at the end of the day, I miss them, but you have to remember that it's always for the benefit of you. And the benefit of the agricultural community in a whole. So what you're doing and what you're putting out is going to benefit our country, one, in the meat market, and your community as well, because you're stepping out there and making a name for yourself and your community.
What do you think, this might be my last question, what do you think these types of experiences will bring you to be able to teach other people going forward?
I think these experiences will help me teach people to not take anything for granted. I mean, looking back on my 8 years of showing, it's like, wow, these are my last times to step in the ring. I cannot take anything for granted. Growing up in the livestock industry, it's like, okay, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. It's repetition every day, and it gets kind of boring. It gets tiring. It gets exhausting. But coming down to the final moments, it's like, I can't take anything for granted anymore because tomorrow I might not get to step in that ring.
Is there anything we missed or anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I'd like to mention that our show does start at 2 p.m. right after church. That way everyone can go to church. We do allow move-in at 8 a.m. And other than that, we would be super excited to have everyone there.